Alright guys, it's Dokkan time again, and today we're going to do a how to build video on Fu, or Dark King Fu as he is called. I think he's one of the last major units. I think we've already done Broly, we've done Vegito, we've done Rose. Actually, I still need to do Vegeta, but this is one of the last ones for the major banner units or the major new units. So Fu is probably a very obvious, easy one to choose how to build him. I mean, he's got raised defense. He seals on super. I haven't got him fully link leveled yet, unfortunately, because I ran out of the orbs. But this is my personal build, and I thought I'd start kind of doing that depending on the unit if I have them built the way I want them to be built. But this is my personal build. It's mostly just what I had on hand. It's not necessarily like the best orbs I could have given him, but the ones that I was willing to give up for him specifically. You'll notice I gave him some HP, I gave him some recovery, and then I went for a full dodge build, personally speaking. So that's my personal build. I'll go over why I chose these in the next section, which is going to look familiar right now. So, Dark King Fu. He is a Battle of Wits leader for 130. He raises defense on super and seals. He has attack and defense 150. He gets another 150 attack and defense on super. And he buffs the extreme class allies by attack and defense plus 30%. Now, this is the only part of his passive that is actually restricted to a team. Unfortunately, it's also kind of a mandatory one unless you have something to make up for it. He randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to SDR when there are 3 or more crossover category allies on the team. So here's the thing. This is his only major restriction. Everything else in his passive is unrestricted. You don't need to be on crossover, don't need to be on Dragon Ball Heroes, you don't need to be extreme. Except for, well, he's an extreme class allies booth. Support unit. So if you're gonna throw this guy on to say like, I don't know, let's look at his 200% lead. So if you put him on Zamasu's team, you'll be able to get big bad bosses off. You're gonna want to bring a unit that also will change key spheres, because you're probably not going to be running any other crossover units on that team specifically. You probably will not bring this guy onto any of these other teams unless it's like Heart's team, because at the end of the day, he's an extreme support unit. That's what you want to bring him into, even if he is on other units' team. His best friend is actually Hearts. Hearts gives him Cold Judgment, Big Bad Bosses, Brainiacs. Those are his major defense links. I guess I forgot to mention the rest of his passive is he gets an attack 100% boost on STR key sphere obtained, which doesn't matter because he's not here for damage. He does have a chance of evade, including super attack, up to 50%, and then gives extreme class allies an additional key up to 5, and attack and defense up to an additional 20% per STR rainbow key sphere or rainbow key sphere obtained, which every key sphere is collected more will be counted. So this is something that I can't stress enough that is going to be really difficult. Let's go off on a limb here and say that he does change the key spheres, and you have like you can grab 3 red STR key spheres and then 2 rainbow. You would logically think because it counts, you need STR or rainbow key sphere that they'll count together. No, they don't. So you'll only get 30%, not the 50% that you want. You really got to get 5 rainbow key spheres or 5 STR key spheres. I would probably suggest, if there's no STR key spheres, obviously go for the rainbow, whatever you can get the most of. But if he's not getting STR key spheres, he's just not supporting enough for the most part. He's supporting enough. I take that back. He's supporting enough because he's got attack and defense 30 right here. Let's say you grab only 3. Yeah, you're giving 3 plus key to your allies. You're gonna give an additional for a 12%, so that'll be a 42% boost to attack and defense for your allies. But then you're only getting 30% dodge, which is not a very high number. It's just not. I've noticed with these passives that give a chance to evade, like when you're plussing the percentage onto it, it actually kind of, I don't know, maybe it's placebo, but I feel like when a unit has these chance of evade plus percentages, it adds more of a chance almost. Like it's toppling on top of your already hidden potential. So, I mean, you really want to give him the full 5 STR key spheres if you possibly can. If you don't, be very afraid of if he's going to dodge or not. So just be very wary of that. He's still a very good support unit. I do like this unit. Let's look over his actual stats, though. Compliments of Halvard, of course. He has... Now, let's see, what does he have? So, unfortunately, I don't have it... hold on. I might need to just, like, unzoom it. No, that shows it. Okay, so, without support, start of turn defense is only 230k. So, just like the majority of units in the game, he's gonna get killed from an AoE. It's how it is. AoEs will get him killed. That's just how it be. Even if he grabs the 5 STR key spheres, he's still not giving himself enough defense otherwise. He has to actually launch a super first before he actually gains any defense. Now, if he launches a super without collecting 5 STR key spheres, he's already at 700k defense, almost 800. This is Rainbow, by the way. This is Rainbow with all of his links going off. He does get if he does get an additional, he's hitting like 1 million defense almost, which is very, very, very good. I will say that. The max possible defense he can get is like 1.1 million defense, which is very, very good. But that's with another 40% support booping him up to that point, which is just unlikely. It's also very unlikely that anyone would boost him with full additional rather than full dodge. I don't see that happening. I see him getting one super off and then relying completely on the dodge. And to be fair, he can tank a majority, if not almost every single normal in the game post-super. The pre-super he can't. Just keep that in mind. But I like to bring this up on the start of turn defense and the additionals. Like, yes, this is his maximum potential, but it's unlikely you'll ever hit that point. The odds are is that you're not going to collect 5 STR key spheres every single turn you have him. You'll probably average an amount of 3 to 4 at best, mixing it with rainbow key spheres. The rainbow key spheres actually hurt a lot. I would have been a lot happier if it counted them both together, but because it picks or chooses STR or rainbow key spheres, it changes how good he can look, and it might skew people's judgments and make them confused as to why he's not doing as well. So his best partner, I cannot stress enough, is 100% the hearts. If you're not running him with hearts, he's not going to hit this level of defense. It's just not going to happen. Because with hearts, no matter what, he's getting the big bad bosses, 25. He's getting Cold Judgment, 25, and he's getting 15 from the Brainiacs. That's a lot of defense. That's 65% defense increase. And trust me when I say, when the math gets pulled into this, that adds up to being a lot extra. So, you know, we're looking at his stats right here, and you say this defense post super attack 700k. No. Lower that. Lower that to like 500. Lower that to like 500, because that'll be his average defense otherwise. And as most support units in the game, you're not rocking them in slot 1. You're not rocking them in slot 2. You're throwing him in the 3rd slot, and you're floating his fun butt out of there, because more than likely he's not gonna. I mean, he's just not gonna link well with the rest of the team here. I mean, support helps a lot. I mean, if we look at Hearts is actually pretty decent still. But even with the support from Seifu, I mean, unless he double supers post-super, then he's okay. Start a turn defense, he's alright at 400. He'll take some pretty decent normals in the game, but if he gets frame 1 supered, it's just game over, you know? Especially on a heroes team where you're rarely breaking over 600k defense unless you just got a fully rainbowed up freaking HP inputted freaking hidden potential system. You're just never being over that 600k. So, I mean, start a turn defense at 400, a million super attack comes at you. I don't give a crap if you have guard. You're almost dead, my dude. You're almost dead. That, and not to mention the fact that the guard wears off on Hearts pretty bloody quick, actually. Hearts' guard wears off pretty fast. What was it, like 3 turns? He guards all attacks for 5 turns from the character's entry turn. So if he popped in at turn 1, it'll last until turn 5, and then on turn 6, he will no longer have guard. He'll lose part of his passive. It's still a good combination. Don't get me wrong. This is still a very strong, like, rotation you could apply. But the thing I'm trying to really get into people's heads is like, you're not going to hit 1 million defense with this guy. You're not going to hit 900k defense with this guy. In fact, your average defense with Fu, more than likely, unless you're always having him next to Hearts, is probably going to be in the range of maybe 700 with the STR key spheres obtained. You really got to pay attention to that. You really just want to rely solely and completely on his dodge, and that's my personal opinion. Is you just want to solely go for a full dodge build, like, and I mean full dodge. Like, try to get him up to 30 dodge if you can. It's probably not possible to get him 30 dodge. I think it's only possible to get to like 27. I'm at 25 in my personal build, and that's with all of the dodge nodes clicked in his hidden potential, and with 10 hidden potential dodge put into there from the equipment. So that means the only slot left is the bronze one, where I could give him 2. That 2% I don't feel like is going to matter the most. I mean, you know, famous last words, of course. But, yeah. In my opinion, you should go just straight up full dodge with this guy. Obviously, if there's any nodes left, put it into his additional. You know, he'll only be able to get it up to level 6, which is unfortunate. But even at level 6, you know, on the very rare chance, you know, maybe he will get an additional at some point. Maybe he will. You never know. If you're lucky, he'll pull off that additional. He'll hit almost 1 million defense. By 1 million, I mean like 800. And, you know, maybe that'll be enough to make you survive in the worst possible situation. But, yeah, no, I like Fu. I haven't found a solid, like, I haven't decided if I can really run him off of heroes. I think you can, but my issue is still the fact that he needs those STR key spheres, and if he doesn't have a regular pool of them going constantly, then you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it, because the majority of his usage is right here. This is the majority of his usage, is buffing the extreme class allies up to 60% support. It's buffing himself to get 50% extra dodge. That's where his entire reason for bringing him on the team is right here. And when it's solely connected to him getting STR key spheres, it makes it a little questionable on how useful he could be off of the heroes team. I think it's doable with RNG being on your side. Perhaps there's a unit that orb changes into STR key spheres that could be going onto the team. I'm not really sure of any units that do that would fit onto a team with Fu, but that is something to keep in mind there. And I will throw in one more thing. I would say you should try to give him an HP orb in the bronze slot. That's what my suggestion would be. Like I said about heroes, they don't have a lot of HP. There's no LRs on the team, so therefore your HP is pretty much capped at around the 600k range. I really do mean that. I think 600k, maybe 630, somewhere around there would be the absolute cap of HP if every single unit was rainbowed. Each unit had HP orbs in them, and I think that would be it. You're not going to hit 700k HP with this guy, and trust me when I say being below 608 HP, or 600k HP actually hurts quite a bit. It hurts quite a bit, especially with units mostly sitting at the 500k range, and big boss supers coming at you with like a million damage supers. So that 500k that's gonna bleed through is gonna be your entire health bar. So, I like Fu though a lot. I do. I probably sounded a little pessimistic towards him in this video, but it's more so to make you aware of his shortcomings. His shortcomings is being trapped to that crossover category with 3 on the team for the STR key spheres. He's very much orb hungry for those 5 key spheres. If he doesn't get those 5 key spheres, he might actually cost you a difficult fight. I mean, if you're just taking him in pre-worldwide download stuff, I don't think you'll have any issues. This guy will be very good and very fine, especially for a support unit. But as far as the most difficult fights in the game, I would say he absolutely mandatory needs those 5 STR key spheres. So give him dodge first and foremost. Put the rest of the nodes that are not dodge into additional, and then I would highly suggest an HP orb to just help out the team's overall HP. So, anyways, guys, I hope that helps you decide how to build Fu, and I hope you have a good day and good night.